Hello everyone, this is Vinay here from Learn Coding with Vinay again, and we are into the video number 3 of our mini video series where we are looking into hashing password using Argon algorithm in ASP.NET Core MVC application. Right. So in the previous video, we actually set the agenda with Perplexity that what we wanna do, right? And Perplexity came up with these steps. So let me bring out those steps so that you can correlate it well, right? And then now what we need to do, we are supposed to follow these steps and see if it is working or not, right? So basically these steps are to configure project for using entity framework core code first approach, right? So I have created the sample project in the background. Let me bring that on screen, right? And we can begin from there, right? So this is the uh, sample MVC application that I have created. It has nothing at this moment, just a blank template. And let me also bring out if I run this, then what we would see is this, just the home and privacy link. And if I click on privacy, it is going to privacy page. If I click on home, it goes to home page. Right, so nothing fancy, just a default template. And this was done to save time in the background, but however I'll let you go through the steps that how we can create this new project. So ideally what we are supposed to do, we'll need to go to file, then open new, then go for a new project. Let's this get loaded. So let me walk you through the quickly step. We can need to go to file, new project. So from the list we'll have to select this ASP.NET Core Web App. You can find it over here also, but since I have created many apps, so it is the template is there in the recent template section. And then we just need to say next. In the next screen we are supposed to select the desired framework, where we will be selecting 9. Uh, okay, so here we need to actually give the name of the application. I'll keep this web application only one only. And then next, on the next screen we'll have to select the framework. So let's just wait for Visual Studio to respond. Now we are onto the screen where we need to select the framework. It is 9.0, right? And say create. I'm not going to create this as I have already done this. So I'm going to cancel this, back, and I'll just say escape from here, right? So we have the project over here, right? Now let's go to steps suggested by Perplexity and try to follow them. Okay. So we are done with step number 1, right? Now let's go to the step number 2, where it says add following packages. Okay. So let me copy this. Let's go to Visual Studio, go to Tools, NuGet Package Manager. Then the second option, Manage NuGet Packager for Solution. Yeah, so from this screen, go to Browse, and then we will just search that package, which is Microsoft.entityframework.core.sql server. Yeah, so we'll select this, the first one, select the project, and we'll have to make sure that the version is 9 dot something, because we have chosen the framework 9 while we created the project. Right, so let me do this in background and come back. Okay, so I have installed required packages, and those are entity framework core.sql server, entity framework core.tools, and I have also installed the Argon package, which will be using to hash the password isof.cryptography.argon2. Right. So we are done with package installation. I'll just say save all, because these details are also written in the project file, right? So make sure whenever you add any package, make sure to save project file. Right. What I'm talking, let me open the project file and let me tell you that project file will have entry of these packages. See over here, right? So if this is not saved, even if after installation your their functionality may not work. Right? So make sure to save your project file when you install any package. Right. Now let's move to the next step. Let's move to the next step. So in the next step, okay, let this load little. Okay, so we are done with your here, and it says add connections into app setting.json. Okay, so let's copy this. go to app setting.json and just copy paste it over here, and I'll have to change the server name to my name, right? So my server name. So let me do that in background. So I have added the my uh, SQL Server connection detail, which is my local machine only. Let me change this to has pwddb. Let me change this database name to has pwddb. And so we have a dedicated database for this small project. And save it and let me close this. And let's move to the next step. The next step, it says create the user entity with this. So we don't want to create this because we have discussed this. And since we are using argon 2, we don't need a separate property for password salt. So we'll be using this, right? So let me create this again in the background to save time and come back. Okay, so I just created the user model over here and it looks like something like this. It is just the copy paste from the Perplexity, at what Perplexity has suggested. Let's move to the next step now. Now we have created the user entity. So basically we are at this step, we are done with this, right? Then it says create a DB context class, add a data folder, and in that we'll have to create this. So let me do this also. Uh, so what we'll be doing will be say right click, add folder, and make it add new folder. We'll give it a name data. In that data folder we will be adding DB context class, and let me copy the DB context class name. Okay, same name, so that we don't have to do much changes. So I just created the app DB context class in the data folder. Now let me copy rest of the code from here. It will look something like this. Okay, let me just copy paste it over here. And yeah, okay, this probably will require entity framework related usings. I beg your pardon, my machine is little slow, so I had to do a lot of thing in the background. Right now it is okay. So we are done with this step also. Let's move to the next step. Register DB context in program.cs. Okay, so what we will be doing, let's copy paste this and go to program.cs in our project, and let's say it is builder.service. So we will have to add it somewhere over here before app declaration. Right, so this is good. We already have this, right? So we registered this DB context in the program.cs, so that now our entire application knows that we are going to use this DB context class for database operations, and this is what it is meant for. Now next, enable EF code tools for migration. Right now we will be running our first migration, so I'll use this only. Right, so what we will be doing, Alt T and NuGet packager package manager console. I'll just say I'll just write clear first. I'll say copy paste and generate the migration file. Let me open SSMS in the background. Yeah, so migration ran successfully. Basically CSAP file is generated. Now the next thing is we need to update the database. So let's say update database with this. So this will actually create the users table in our desired database. So let's wait for that. So update database also got success. So let's look into SSMS. Let me bring it on screen and see if our changes were applied. So basically we should have the has password WD database, and in that database we should have the users table. So let me expand databases and let me expand has password DB there. We should have one table over there, users, and another table is for migration, two table ideally. So we could see the has password DW database, and we could see two tables. One is user and one is EF migration history. So in the user table we won't have anything, right? Because we just created it. In the EF migration history table we will have the history entry of our migration, first migration, initial create, right? whatever migration we run, those will be added into this table, right? So let me go to the next step now on Perplexity, right? So this is done. So ideally at this moment we are done with configuring our project with entity framework core code first approach, right? In next video we will go over generating the required has class file, and we will also complete the login and registration functionality. So see you in the next video. Thanks for watching this video, guys.